was supposed to be a night to celebrate our love, our life, and the future ahead. But everything changed in an instant. As we stepped outside for a quiet moment, I heard it, the voice of my past, filled with rage. I turned around to see him, my ex, his eyes wild with fury and a weapon in his hand. "If I can't have you, no one can," he screamed, and in that moment, my world shattered. Matthew shoved me out of harm's way, but the bullet hit him square in the chest. I screamed, helpless, as his life slipped away in my arms. For 3 days, I stayed by his side, praying, begging the universe not to take him from me. But despite everything, he was gone. What was supposed to be a celebration turned into a nightmare. Now I'm left picking up the pieces, grieving, raising our kids, and learning how to carry on without him. Matthew's death broke me, but I keep going for them, for him, and for the future we dreamed of. This is my story. I'm holding on, one day at a time. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, reading, and sharing this journey with me. Writing this has been painfully hard, but knowing you're out there, listening, caring, makes it a little easier. Your words, your support, mean everything. This story is about more than just loss, it's about the strength we find when life tests us, the love that keeps us grounded, and the resilience that gets us through. I'm not walking this path alone, and neither are you. As we move forward together, please feel free to share your thoughts and stories. If you've experienced loss, you understand. If you haven't, your compassion still makes a difference. Your presence keeps me strong and reminds me that love, no matter how painful its loss, is what binds us all. If you have someone you love, tell them today. Hold them close. Don't wait. I've learned that real strength isn't in avoiding pain, it's in facing it, keeping our loved ones' memories alive, and honoring them by living with heart and purpose. That's what Matthew would have wanted. Thank you again for walking this road with me. Let's keep going, together. My name's Jack Taylor, and my therapist suggested I start writing to clear my head, said it would help sort through the mess. I'd just come out of a rough divorce and couldn't think straight. He told me to write down what happened, how I felt. So, here I am, and now it's turned into something of a habit. Honestly, I feel like one of those people you read about, divorced, betrayed, alone. Her name's Lily, and the guy she cheated with? My boss. Yeah, that guy, Dan Parker. Now, here's the thing, she didn't just fall for him. Dan blackmailed her. Got her drunk at a company event I couldn't attend, took pictures of them together, and then used those to control her. Sick, right? But what really sticks with me is the image of them in our bed. That's the moment I broke. I lost it, confronted him, and things got physical. The cops were called, and I got arrested. Fortunately, my cousin Sarah's a lawyer, a good one. She argued I snapped under stress, and the court let me off. Dan tried to sue me after, but that was a mistake. The jury heard the full story, and they awarded me damages. The judge ruled his actions weren't legal, so I countersued him and won big. I then hit the company with a lawsuit for not enforcing their own policies, and I won that too, walking away with a hefty 7-figure settlement. So yeah, I've got the money, but no Lily. We were together for 7 years, and I thought she was my forever. I found out by accident. She was in the shower when her phone rang. I picked it up. Hello? A man's voice on the other end, "Can't wait to see you again." I froze. It was Dan. I hung up, but then the phone rang again. She answered, her face draining of color. But when she hung up, she just said, "Okay." That night, she told me she was going to a friend's place. I figured, no big deal, no kids, just a quick night out. But that phone call? Something changed in me. I started to wonder if everything in our marriage was just a lie. So I followed her. Watched her walk into a motel, and when the door opened, there he was, Dan, wrapped in a towel. They hugged. She didn't resist. Then she went inside. I stood there, frozen, watching. That guy, chubby, bald, with a sleazy grin. I couldn't stop thinking, what the hell did she see in him? I waited about 15 minutes, just long enough for them to settle in. Then I walked up to the door and knocked. "Porter," I said, forcing a hotel staff tone. "We've got a possible issue in your room, might want to check it out." The door creaked open, and there he was. Dan, that smirk plastered across his face, half-dressed, looking like he owned the place. The moment he saw me, that smirk disappeared. "The hell are you?" he started, but I shoved the door open with my shoulder and walked in like I owned the room. And there she was. My wife, Lily, lying on the bed, naked, hair a mess, a sheet barely covering her. Her eyes went wide, like she'd just seen a ghost. "Oh my God," she gasped, scrambling to cover herself. "Jackson, listen to me, please, it's not what it looks like. I swear to God, I didn't want this. I couldn't hold it in. Don't feed me that weak lie," I snapped. "You had a choice the second you undressed for him, the second you walked in here." Then I turned to Dan. He took a step back, but it was too late. I cracked him across the face with my fist. His jaw cracked, and he screamed as blood sprayed from his lip. He stumbled back, clutching his face, and I didn't wait. I kicked him right in the balls. He crumpled, going down like a sack of garbage. "Come on, tough guy," I growled, standing over him. "Still feel powerful, huh?" He whimpered something, but I didn't care. I grabbed his hair, yanked his head up, and slammed it back down on the carpet. I knelt over him, fists flying. His face was a mess, unrecognizable, blood everywhere. I stood up, breathing heavy, then turned back to Lily. She had tears running down her face, still clutching the sheet like it would save her. "You said you didn't have a choice," I said, voice shaking. "Well, guess what? Now you do." She opened her mouth, but I cut her off. Just don't. You made your bed. Literally. Lay in it." I walked to the door, opened it, and paused. "Come home if you want. But I swear to God, Lily, don't you dare." I didn't look back. Got home, poured a whiskey, then another. Sat in my chair, numb. Half an hour later, a knock at the door. I already knew what was coming. Cops asked my name, slapped the cuffs on, and took me in. People say jail's rough. I didn't care. I was too angry to feel fear. Some guy tried to mess with me inside. I wrecked him, sent him straight to the ER. Cameras backed me up. Self-defense. That night, 2 guys in the hospital. Dan was one of them, lost a testicle. Maybe both, 6 teeth gone, spleen ruptured, jaw snapped. Good. One less scumbag hurting women. I'm not some tough guy, 6 foot, 170 pounds, but my dad taught us how to box. First time I ever had to use it, even after everything. The worst part was Lily. What she did, what she let happen. She tried calling, but I let it ring. I didn't want to hear her voice, not ever again. Tom got me out, took me to his place. His wife, Emily, was cool, but I was a wreck. I snapped at everyone. One night, Emily had enough. "Jack," she said, sharp, "we're not your enemies. You want to be a jerk? Go back to your cheating wife or get a hotel." She was right. I apologized. After that, I started to calm down. Their place became the only place I felt halfway human. Tom filed for divorce, sued my old job too. Dan tried suing me, but Tom dragged it out until my trial ended. Verdict, not guilty, temporary insanity. Then we went after Dan. He walked into court grinning like an idiot, thinking he'd win. He didn't know Tom had dug up dirt, other women he'd blackmailed the same way. The jury wanted me paid. Dan got fired. Worse, he got arrested on sexual assault charges. The problem? No hard proof. But 6 women testified, all telling the same story. I didn't follow the trial much. I was too deep in the divorce mess. I heard he got time, but not for the assaults. Didn't matter. He went to jail. That was enough. Lily showed up to court every day, testified too. People were pissed he only got 7 years. Everyone knew she'd been used. I didn't care. All I saw was the two of them in bed, over and over, in my head. I still filed for divorce, tried to see her side. I couldn't. If she'd told me the truth, I'd have handled it. But she lied, then went back to him. That told me all I needed to know. The final hearing was brutal. She kept trying to talk to me. I shut that down. During the whole thing, she kept looking at me, eyes pleading. I didn't care. When the judge signed off, she lost it, screaming. They had to call an ambulance. I figured I'd never see her again. I was wrong. Once the lawsuits ended, I tried to move on. I ended up with close to $3 million out of the whole mess. Gave 30% to Tom, he didn't want it, but I made him take it. Money didn't fix the hole inside me. I couldn't go back to work, didn't want to. I felt lost, still hurting. Emily told me to go to Europe, said I'd always wanted to. She was right, I had the money, so why not? I started with Spain. People love it there. It was fine, old buildings, good wine, but I felt nothing. I took a train to Portugal next, and that's where I met Laura. British girl, tiny, short brown hair, hazel eyes, killer smile. But more than that, she had this spark about her, she got excited about everything. It was contagious. She worked as a history teacher for kids, and she said I should teach at the Lisbon International School. I just nodded. No clue where that was, but she loved it. You could see it in her face. Honestly, Portugal would have been a bust without her. She knew everything about the history of the country. She made it interesting, even to someone like me who didn't care about history before. And before you ask, no, we didn't hook up, she made it clear right away. I just got out of a really bad breakup, she told me. I'm not looking for anything right now. I agreed. Same here, not trying to date anyone. I told her the whole story, even the ugly parts. She had some sympathy for Lily, which caught me off guard. Guess women stick together. We weren't trying to impress each other, and maybe that's why it worked. She made me laugh, something I hadn't done in months. Yeah, some women hit on me during the trip, maybe it was the scruffy look. I didn't care enough to clean up, and Laura teased me about it. It's not like I'm your girlfriend, she'd say, smirking. Men flirted with her too, and I teased her right back. After Portugal, I went solo to Italy and Greece. Laura had booked a spot in Paris and went ahead. I liked Greece, the people were cool, but without her, the language barrier hit harder. She spoke 5 languages, I could barely handle one. We met up in Paris for her last few days. The city was gorgeous. The people? Not so much. I know, it's not fair to judge a whole place by a few idiots. One night, we were at dinner when this random guy sat down at our table and started flirting with Laura in French. She splashed wine in his face. He laughed and looked at me like I was a joke until I stood up. I had a few inches on him, and he backed off quick. The second night I took her out, dinner, then a walk by the Seine. The moon was almost full, real movie moment. We stopped to watch the boats drift by, and I looked at her. Laura, thanks. You made this trip something real. I needed that. I kissed her cheek. She looked at me, then grabbed my face and kissed me full on the mouth. Yeah, I kissed her back. But after that, we didn't say a word. She just started talking about the history of the city, old buildings and statues, like nothing had happened. That night, I went to bed feeling strange, embarrassed but not sad. The last night in London, she cooked dinner at her apartment. We hung out on the balcony for hours. When I reminded her we had an early flight, she just nodded. Later, I walked past her room on the way to the bathroom. Her door opened, and she was in this soft white nightgown, light streaming around her. She stepped up, hugged me, and kissed me again, deep. I kissed her back, of course. Next thing I knew, we were on her bed. I was touching her, she was moaning, then I froze. "I'm sorry," I said. "I can't. It's too soon." She looked hurt but got up and hugged me. "I get it," she whispered. "But I think I could fall for you." "You're amazing," I said, "but I'm still a mess. I don't want to hurt you." She kissed my cheek. I hit the bathroom, brushed my teeth, stared in the mirror, wondering, did I just screw up? The next day, nothing was said about what happened. We landed in Dublin, said goodbye, took separate cabs. She kissed my cheek. We swapped addresses and promised to write. I didn't think we would. Still, I asked her to have dinner before I flew home. She said yes. I had 2 weeks left, rented a Range Rover, and planned a road trip. Ireland, Scotland, Northern Ireland. Chose the Rover because people said the Scottish roads got steep. It didn't go as planned. Getting out of Dublin was a pain. The next night, I went to the bank to double-check my cash. My phone died. The charger was buried somewhere in my bag, but I didn't bother to find it. I used a paper map instead. Bad move, or maybe not. Left the bank just before closing, picked a route, and started driving. An hour later, I was lost. Had no clue where I was. I asked for directions, and got even more lost. I pulled over under some trees, no road signs I recognized. Checked the map again. Nothing clicked. Got out, muttering a few curses. Opened the boot to dig for the charger. Then I remembered, it was in the damn hotel. Idiot move. Alone, lost, no phone, brilliant. Then I made a choice. I grabbed my tool. Yeah, I know it's illegal in the UK, but I'm American. I don't travel without protection. Ruger 9mm, 2 mags. Customs, easy. Broke it down, packed the pieces in disguise boxes. Barrel looked like a pipe, no one batted an eye. Kept it close. Useless apart, but I could snap it back together fast. Never had to, until now. It was getting dark. I loaded the tool, tucked it into my belt, and started walking. The road twisted through some trees before opening up. Big estate house on a hill. Finally, maybe someone there could tell me where the hell I was. I pulled in behind, engine off. The place was dark, too quiet. My gut twisted up. I got out slow, crept to the corner. Then, bang, bang, screams. I ducked, peeked around, 2 bodies down. Some guy had a kid, small it over his head. The kid was thrashing, kicking like mad. 2 more dudes shouted, "You screwed it up, man, they're dead." Then he spotted me. "Get the hell back in there. Make sure the rest are still locked." One guy bolted inside. The one holding the kid started dragging him toward a car. I stepped out, tool ready. "Drop it, hands where I can see 'em." "Nope." The idiot spun, fired, missed. I didn't. Shoulder shot. He dropped hard, tool hit the ground. The kid broke loose, ran like hell. The wounded guy lunged, tried to grab him. I squeezed off another. Hits his leg. He tumbled, groaning. I sprinted for my car, threw it in gear. As I shot past, he snatched up his piece again. Blam. Hot iron punched my side. I howled, nearly lost the wheel. Blood's warm, sticky, but I kept driving. I spotted the kid on the road. "Get in, move." He froze, panicked. I barked again. He dove in, slammed the door. I floored it. In the rear view, all I saw were black trees and pain chasing us. "You even know where the hell we are, kid?" His eyes were wide, trembling. He shook his head. "Great. We hit the main road, left or right?" I gambled left. Wrong damn call. We were off into nowhere. No signs, no lights, just trees and long driveways. I muttered, "Crap, we're running low on gas." He looked puzzled. "Petrol," I grunted. We're almost empty. Oh, he said, barely audible. What do we do now? Not now, I snapped. I took a sharp left up some rough hill. Gravel crunched. Trees whipped past. Good thing I'm in a Range Rover. Any other car would have been toast. I glanced at the dash, compass points south. We're heading south, I said. Figure Dublin's that way. I looked in the rear view. The kid's holding it together better than I expected. What's your name? George. All right, George, I'm Jack. He hesitated, then asked, what's your real name, sir? It took me a beat. Jack Taylor. He nodded slowly. Thank you for saving me, Mr. Miller. Don't thank me yet, I said. We're not out of this. I glanced at him, then spoke. What the hell happened? He gulped. I was staying at Peter's house. A weekend thing. Then men came. Broke in. Bag over my head. Dragged me out. I don't know what happened to Peter or his family. Jesus, I muttered. Abducting for sure. Maybe Peter's gone too. We kept walking, through fields, across streams. No houses, no people, no help. I stuck to moving south, had to hit a road sooner or later. We climbed a hill, dropped into a field, then another hill. The car started coughing, out of gas. I spotted a thick bush and pulled in, shutting the engine off. I got out, popped the back, and dug through my bags. First suitcase, junk. Second one, I found my flashlight. Sorry, torch. Then bingo. Second mag for the tool. Opened the door. George, listen, I said. We're out of time. They'll know we left the road. We gotta move. No stopping till we find help. I grabbed 2 sweaters, a wool hat, a big bottle of water, and some crackers. It was cold, and I didn't know how long we'd be out there. I kept the car pointed south, picked the brightest star that way, and we followed it. 3 hours, we walked, taking breaks to rest and sip water, crossing a few creeks. We didn't risk refilling. By midnight, George was beat but didn't complain once. We kept quiet, just in case someone was out there. I found a thick bush and made beds with leaves. Crash here, I told him. He curled up and passed out fast. I stayed up a while, checking my side. Bullet grazed me, deep cut, still bleeding. Ripped my undershirt, wrapped it best I could. Gave one sweater to George, pulled the other on, and finally dozed off. Sun hit my face, and I groaned. My side felt like it was on fire. Wish I'd packed some damn painkillers. George stirred. How you holding up? I asked. He groaned. Hurts, sir. Yeah, same, I chuckled. Here, crackers. Tossed him a pack. He munched while I watched him, still scared, but hanging on. Gave him water and another pack, then checked my side. Bleeding had stopped, thank God. I'm sorry, sir, George said. What's gonna happen to us? We'll find help, I told him. Your folks will come for you. I'll get stitched up and maybe finish my trip. You seem real brave, he said, staring at the ground. I wish I was. Brave? I said. Kid, you've been solid. Most kids would have freaked out. But I cried, he said, eyes meeting mine. You won't tell anyone, right? George, I said softly. Crying's fine. It means you care. Nothing wrong with that. I don't want people to think I'm weak. I smiled. Let me tell you something important. Only one person you gotta impress. Who? He asked. Yourself, I said. Do your best, stick to what's right. If anyone judges you, screw them. He laughed at that. First real smile I saw in days. We packed up and kept walking. My side burned worse now, felt like it was infected. No more stars to follow, so we stuck near the trees. Slower, but safer. Choppers flew by in the distance. I prayed they were looking for us. By noon, we were out of water. Had to fill the bottle at a creek. Rolled the dice, no choice. Night came, still no houses. Later, I found out we'd passed right by a dozen of them, just wrong turns. I found another bush, not much to work with. We lay down, I was dizzy, burning up. The next morning, we kept going. I could barely keep up. George looked worried. Didn't fully trust me, but I smiled and said, "It's okay." He didn't buy it. By day 2, maybe 3, we talked more. Didn't need to hide anymore. He told me about school, friends, a bit about his parents, not much. "They're strict," he muttered once. "Always want more from me." I told him again, "Only person you gotta make happy is you." It was just past noon, and I was getting antsy. We'd hit this huge open field, no way around it, no cover to hide in. The woods behind us were no longer safe. "All right, George," I said, glancing around. "We're gonna make a run for it. Straight across, fast as hell, okay? We don't stop till we hit those trees on the other side." We were maybe halfway, about 100 yards out, when I caught the sound, low and mean. Diesel engine, probably a Mercedes. "Run, George, go!" I shouted, already tearing across the grass after him. I looked back just in time to see a black car tear over the hill, flying straight at us. We barely made it to a pile of fallen trees when the shooting started, from the car. Bullets zipped past as we scrambled over the logs. I pulled George down behind some branches and gripped his hand. "Listen up," I said, breathing hard. "You need to run, get as far as you can. If you hear a bang, drop and hide. Stay hidden. Don't come out till it's dead quiet. Got it?" He stared at me, terrified. "But Mr. Miller, what about you? I'll buy you time. Just go, now." He hesitated, but I gave him a shove and he bolted. The car was maybe 100 feet out. More shots cracked through the air. I raised my tool and fired back. Bet they didn't see that coming. This is Ireland, people don't usually carry. The car tried to swerve, lost control, and flipped onto its side. Guys spilled out, 5 of them, all armed. They took cover and returned fire. I dropped behind a tree, found a small gap between branches, and fired again. All I could do was hope George had made it far enough. I was halfway through my second clip when it hit me. A bullet punched through the brush and caught me in the chest, right side. Felt like a sledgehammer. I hit the dirt hard, took me 10 seconds just to move. I saw one of them running toward me, bad call. I fired and hit him center mass. He dropped. I shot again, 2 more rounds, but I was fading fast. Then I heard it, the thump, thump, thump of rotors overhead. A shadow swept across the field. Helicopters, men dropped from ropes, shooting as they hit the ground. That's the last thing I remember before everything went black. When I came to, it was blindingly bright, and my chest felt like it was on fire. A woman leaned over me. I caught a voice, someone saying, "We need to get him back to the ore." Then it all faded again. The next time I woke up, I felt like I was floating. No pain, just light and calm. A nurse in an old-school uniform stood by my side, checking my vitals. When she saw my eyes flutter open, she smiled gently. "Welcome back, Mr. Miller," she said, British accent and all. "We were seriously worried about you. Thought we might lose you a few times last night. But looks like you're pulling through." My throat was dry as hell, but I forced a whisper. "The boy?" She gave me a soft look. "Someone will come speak with you soon. Try to rest." That vague answer made my stomach twist, but I was too out of it to argue. Sleep took me again. I woke later that night. An orderly spoon-fed me some soup, held a cup to my lips. My arms were full of tubes. No clue how long I was out after that. When I came to again, it was morning. A doctor was standing by the bed, flipping through a chart. "The kid," I rasped. The doc looked up, smiled. "Good, you're awake. The boy's fine. He was a mess when you came in, though. Wouldn't let go of your hand. Covered in your blood, but not a scratch on him." "Is he mine?" the doc asked. I shook my head. Even that wore me out. Later that day, I opened my eyes to see the nurse again. She smiled. "How are you feeling, Mr. Miller?" "Throat hurts, chest," sighed, I managed. "I'll get something for the pain. And there are folks who'd like a word. You up for it?" I nodded. A man walked in, looked around 40, maybe older. Gray-streaked hair, thick mustache, rosy cheeks. He sat beside me. "Mr. Miller," he said. "Inspector O'Connor, Dublin Police. Just need to ask a few questions, informal-like." "Go ahead," I said. My voice was steadier now. "You've been through a lot," he said. "You're healing, but we're still keeping an eye out for infection. Can you tell me what went down Monday?" I nodded slowly. "I think I stumbled into an abduction. Me and George were running, trying to find help. But it was empty out there. They caught up. I fought them off so George could get away." O'Connor raised an eyebrow. "How'd you end up at the house where the boy was taken?" "I got lost," I admitted. "Phone was dead. I used a paper map, got all turned around. Found a dirt road, ended up at this big mansion. Just wanted to ask for directions. And I saw them trying to grab the kid. I had a tool, I used it. We fled in a rental but ran out of gas. Kept walking. They found us again." Blair gave a nod. "You know how we tracked you down?" "No. One of our pilots spotted a car speeding off the road. When they moved in, they heard your shots. Pulled you and the boy out. He looked hurt, blood everywhere, but it was yours. He wouldn't let them move him until they got you out too." I blinked slowly. "He was brave," I said, mostly to myself. "Come again?" He was real brave." O'Connor leaned back, smiling. "Hell of a story, Mr. Miller." "It's all true," I said quickly. "Ask George if you don't believe me." "Oh, I believe you," he said. Then his voice shifted. "Just one more thing though. That tool you used, where'd it come from?" I froze, like a deer in headlights. The first thought in my head was, crap, I knew I was screwed. But I also knew without that tool, I'd be dead. "I brought it from the US, I said quietly. The inspector gave a grin. "I doubt that, Mr. Miller. Bringing a tool into Ireland is a crime. The one we found had no serial numbers. Looks more like it came from the hijackers. Pretty lucky, huh?" And just like that, it clicked. He was handing me a way out. A cover story. I wasn't gonna fight that. "Yeah," I said fast. "I grabbed it off one of the hijackers when I caught him off guard." "Perfect," O'Connor said, standing. "I could use some tea. Want one?" "Honestly, I'd kill for a coffee," he chuckled. "I'll see what I can do." 10 minutes later, he came back with tea, coffee, and some biscuits. "Sorry, biscuits," he corrected, sipping his tea. "Mr. Miller, we've got a lot to sort before you talk to anyone else. First, George, that's not his real name. He's Peter, as in the future Duke of Windsor or more likely, the future King of the UK. I just stared, couldn't even speak. He was spending the weekend with the real George, son of Lord and Lady Ashford. The estate had 8 guards. 2 eliminated, 3 badly hurt, rest knocked out. This was a serious, pro-level abduction. If you hadn't stepped in, they'd have gotten away with it. Why would someone take him? I asked. No clue yet. We don't know how they even knew he'd be there. Still digging. But you, Mr. Miller, you saved him. That's a big deal. I don't feel like a hero, I muttered. More like out of place. Should I call someone? Want us to call someone for you? I shook my head. No, but we do need to figure out what happens next. He nodded, finished his tea, and pulled out a notepad. There are already leaks. Words out, someone tried to eliminate the prince. The country's tense, everyone's on edge. Agencies are under pressure to clean this up fast. I felt a jolt of panic. If this was some terror thing, my family might be in danger too. Can I ask you something? Sure, he said. Can't promise I'll say yes. Don't mention my name to the press. He tilted his head. Why's that? If this is tied to terrorists and they find out I got in the way, they might come after me or my family. He nodded. Good point. I'll talk to my bosses. We'll keep you off the radar for now. Anyone at home who might worry? Maybe my parents. Wait, what day is it? Friday, the 6th. I lost almost a week, I muttered. I had a flight home Sunday. Guess that's off the table. We found your flight info, your bags too. Nobody's tried to contact you at your hotel. And one more person. I had plans with someone, Sarah Smythe, dinner tomorrow. His brow went up. How do you know her? Met her on the train to Germany, just a friend. Helped me a lot, it's not romantic. Got her email? I nodded. Great, we'll send her a note. Say you had a small accident, recovering at home, keep it simple. He leaned back. You'll have guards posted outside, no calls, no visitors, that okay? I nodded. Yeah, that's fine. The next few days were brutal. As I started healing, they cut down the painkillers and man, that made physio feel like hell. On top of that, I was going stir-crazy. The room felt smaller by the hour. At first, the non-stop news coverage was kinda cool. Everyone in the UK celebrating, talking about courage and gratitude. But after 2 days, it was just noise. I was drained mentally and emotionally. Probably had a touch of PTSD, to be honest. Just when I figured Inspector O'Connor had peaced out for good, he showed up again, Tuesday. I was by the window, itching to breathe fresh air when he walked in. You're looking way better, Mr. Miller, he said with a smirk, which makes what I'm about to say even sweeter. Sounds like you brought good news, I said, easing down onto the bed. We're still digging into the whole abduction thing. Got 2 of the guys in custody. One of them's bound to talk. That's why I've gotta ask again, I said. Please, keep my name out of it. I want this over, not headlines. He tilted his head like he was sizing me up. You're not like most folks, he said. Anyone else would be begging for a medal. You just want to keep your people safe. I respect that. Then he got quiet for a second. Anyway, my bosses signed off on your request. Your name stays off the record, not gonna lie. Some of them weren't thrilled. A few even thought maybe you were in on it and bailed last second. I raised an eyebrow. But your rental car's GPS backed your story. And while the prince himself vouched for you. I let out a breath. So once I'm out of here, I can go home? O'Connor nodded. Yep. The sooner you're stateside, the better. Did my parents try to reach me? They called, emailed, everything. We didn't pick up, but we replied to let them know you were in a spot with poor cell service. I also talked to your doctors, he added. You're being discharged Saturday. We already booked your flight early afternoon. Private security will escort you straight from here to the airport. Friday rolled around, and O'Connor dropped off my phone. You're good to call whoever you want, he said. I dialed my parents, told them I'd had a minor accident, downplayed everything, made it sound like no big deal. My mom freaked, wanted to fly out immediately, so I lied again. Took a bad fall off my bike, I told her. Hit something hard, got banged up, but I'm alright. I'll be home before you can even pack. That seemed to settle her down. Saturday morning, I got dressed after breakfast. I wasn't totally there physically, but mentally, I was more than ready to bounce. Around 11, I heard footsteps in the hall. Looked out and saw a couple dressed like royalty. Walking with a kid took me a second, then it clicked. It was George, or Peter. People in the hall were bowing and curtsying like it was a damn fairy tale. The couple was clearly the king and queen. Peter looked nervous until he spotted me, then he sped up and got to my door before they did. "Your Highness," I said, grinning. "Mr. Miller, I'm so glad you're okay," Peter said, eyes wide and shining. "When they airlifted you, I thought you were dead. Thank you for everything, seriously." The king and queen came up right behind him. I gave a polite bow. "Your Majesties, it's an honor." "No, Mr. Miller," the king said, shaking my hand. "The honor's ours." Yeah, I was shaking hands with the king of the United Kingdom, and I couldn't tell a soul. Not that I planned to, probably better that way. The queen stepped forward, her voice low and kind. "We can never thank you enough for saving our son," she said. "I can't even imagine what could have happened if you hadn't been there. You'll always be in our hearts." She reached for my hand, then kissed it. I froze, totally stunned. "He's a strong kid," I said, nodding toward Peter. "Braver than most adults I know. Without him, I don't think we'd have made it." They didn't linger, didn't want to stir attention. Word was, this stop wasn't even in the official press release. It was just something they insisted on doing. It hit me hard. All that time laid up gave me space to think about my life, my choices. Let's just say I didn't feel like a winner. Even on the plane, my brain wouldn't shut up. I kept replaying stuff, asking myself what comes next. My parents were waiting at the airport. The second my mom saw me, her face cracked. She pulled me into the tightest hug ever. My dad, who usually dodges that kind of thing, actually hugged me too. "Easy," I said with a smile, still a little banged up. Didn't matter, I loved it. My dad doesn't hug anyone, always said he wasn't into it. But now, he hugs my mom like it's his job. Then at baggage claim, Mom's tone changed, calm but serious. "Jack," she said, "I did something. You might be mad, but if you are, be mad at me." I doubt it, I told her. "You might feel different in a minute," she said, glancing toward the doors. I looked where she was looking and saw Lily. She was standing there, pale and broken-looking, eyes red. She'd clearly been crying. A few weeks back, I might have just turned and walked away. But when you've stared death in the face, your priorities shift. All the stuff that felt huge doesn't anymore. And as I looked at her, I didn't see the woman who betrayed me. I saw someone lost, hurt, scared. Someone who'd been used, maybe, but still loved me. She still looked like the girl I fell for way back when. I smiled, took a slow step toward her. "Hey, Lily," I said quietly. "Thanks for coming out." Her face just crumbled. All that composure vanished. She rushed into my arms, sobbing. "I'm so sorry," she kept whispering. "I didn't mean to, please forgive me." I wrapped her up in a hug, held her tight. I didn't say much, just kept her steady, then guided her over to my parents, who already had my bags. I barely touched the food on the plane, I joked. "How about we get something to eat? I'm starving." Things weren't magically fixed between us, not even close, but it was something, a place to start. At first, I didn't even know what I wanted. I just knew I didn't want to punish her anymore. I wanted her okay. I wanted us to maybe find a way back. A few days later, I asked her to lunch. We sat, we talked. It was awkward, but real. Then came therapy. One session turned into more. Slowly, we started seeing each other again. On purpose, this time, not out of habit. And that's when I learned something that hit me in the gut. She hadn't cheated because she was chasing thrills or someone new. She cheated because she was scared of disappointing me, of not being enough, and that fear, I'd built that. Every time she hit the mark, I'd light up, shower her with praise. When she slipped, even just a little, I'd go cold, pull back, made her feel like love had to be earned. I didn't mean to, I didn't even see it, but yeah. Looking back, that was real. It took 6 months to dig through all of it. But we did, we made it, and I never stopped loving her. We got remarried in her parents' backyard, just family, low-key. Our moms were crying more than we were. For the second honeymoon, I booked a cruise. Funny thing, we hadn't even slept together since we got back together. It wasn't planned, just that we didn't want to rush it. Wanted it to be different this time, honest. That first night back in the cabin, we were both kind of jittery. Sounds dumb, right? We'd done it 100 times before. But this felt like the first time all over again. I'd always thought Lily was the most beautiful woman I'd ever met. Those soft brown eyes, that easy smile, the way her hair curled near her neck. But that night, lying next to her, touching her, it hit different. We were connected in a way we'd never been before. The rest of that trip, same vibe. Yeah, we did all the cruise stuff, shows, dancing, day trips, but mostly we stayed in, made love like we were trying to rewire the past. I was back in love with my wife, all in. But if I'm being honest, something didn't sit right. There was a sliver of doubt, a whisper in the back of my head I couldn't quite mute. I think it started that first night. 2 months later, Lily got pregnant. We were over the moon. 7 months after that, our son, Luke, showed up. 11 months later, we had a daughter, Emma. Life was busy, loud, sweet. 3 years in, Lily wanted to go back to work part-time. I said sure, I meant it too at first. But as time passed, that old itch came back. Not because of her, she wasn't doing anything wrong. It was all in my head. I started getting suspicious, jealous, thought things I never said out loud, but they festered. And without realizing it, I started pulling away. Just little things at first, less affection, more silence. Maybe deep down, I was bracing for another hit. Like if she hurt me again, it wouldn't knock me over this time. She noticed, of course she did. My mood shifted the whole house. We started arguing again, same old patterns. I even caught myself thinking about divorce, again. It was Lily, just like before, who said, let's go back to counseling. At first, I thought, what's the point? But the more I talked, the more I saw it. I was the problem. I'd built a wall around myself so high, no one could reach me. Once I owned that, we started rebuilding, slowly, carefully, but it worked. The next year was beautiful, really beautiful, like we'd finally made it. Then everything fell apart again. We didn't even know the Fool was out. Justin Bosner, early release, no warning, no heads up, nothing. It was late. The kids were already in bed. We were just settling down when I heard it, glass exploding at the front of the house. It sounded like a damn bomb went off. I jumped up, heart pounding. I got it, I said. You go to the kids. Lily didn't ask, she bolted upstairs. I headed to the front, slow and quiet. And there he was, standing right in the living room like he owned the place. Tool in hand, eyes dead, smile twisted. Well, Jack, he said, voice slick like oil, took me a while to get here, but I always finish what I start. I didn't say a word, just stared at him. I'm gonna open you up, he went on, waving the tool. Make you bleed slow. Then I'm gonna spend a little time with that pretty wife of yours. She used to scream my name, remember? Crap, she might again. That was it. I took a step forward. He raised the tool, quick. Don't be stupid, he hissed. I could drop you right now, but I want to enjoy this. I want you to beg. Then, bam, a blur came flying from the side. Lily. She had a tool. I didn't even know she had a tool. Lily charged at him, tried to knock it from his hand. They wrestled. I dove in to help, but too late. Bang, she dropped like dead weight. Lily! I shouted, catching her before she hit the floor. Justin tried to run. I didn't think, I just moved. I slammed my fist into his jaw, drove him into the wall so hard the drywall cracked. He dropped, out cold, just a pile of trash. I dropped to my knees beside her. Blood, so much blood, pooling under her. No, 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 I said, shaking. I yanked off my shirt, pressed it to the wound, grabbed my phone with one hand, called emergency. Send help now, she's been shot. Just hurry the hell up. She looked up at me, her eyes full of pain and tears. You're the only one I ever loved, she whispered. Thank you for not giving up on me. Take care of our babies. Lily, don't do this. Stay with me, please, I cried, holding her tighter. But her eyes, they stopped blinking, just gone. She never spoke again. Paramedics tried, doctors tried. It didn't matter, the bullet tore too much. She was already slipping away in my arms. I don't remember the days after, just the silence, the emptiness. Our moms moved in, took over. I was just a ghost floating through the wreckage. I think I went to her funeral. All I remember is standing there, thinking it should have been me. Justin? They locked him up again, didn't last long. Coward hung himself in his cell before the trial even started. He got the easy way out. After what he didn't deserve passing, he deserved pain. It took months to pull myself out of that hole. The kids were the only reason I made it. They missed Lily, sure, but they bounced back. Kids do. They needed me strong. I had to hold it together for them. But inside, I was wrecked. My mom saw it. She's the one who said, let's go, start fresh. At first, I said no, but after a while, I gave in. We went back to the UK, brought both sets of parents to help. By then, the fear was gone. Scotland Yard had busted the group, just 30 anti-monarchy nuts. But 2 of them worked at the palace and had access to royal schedules. They planned to abduct and eliminate the crown prince. Most didn't even know what they'd signed up for. Still, every one of them got jail time. After the divorce, I'd invested the settlement. By now, nearly $5 million, and I wanted to use it right. So, I bought first-class tickets, booked us into the Langham in London, rented a big van. I was finally going to finish my tour of Scotland and Wales. Thought it would be a healing trip. Didn't know I was walking straight into a storm. When I talked to Inspector O'Connor years back, I asked for my name to be wiped from the case. I thought it was sealed for good. It wasn't. Files were sealed for 5 years. Then someone asked to open them and got the green light. My name was all over it. Even before we got on the plane, reporters had started digging. If I'd known, I would have stayed put, hid the family, waited it out. But I didn't know. I just wanted to breathe again. While packing, I found Sarah Smythe's old number. Thought it was dead, but I called anyway. It still worked. She picked up, recognized me right off. Said she was bummed I bailed on dinner years back, but understood. I still couldn't tell her the real reason. That door had to stay shut. We talked for 2 hours. No clue what that'll cost me, but I didn't care. It felt easy, like no time had passed. Some people are just like that. We caught up, 5 years and 2 hours. She's still at the same school, now assistant principal. Got married, got divorced. Said it ended badly. Her ex is still salty, I heard the pain in her voice. So, I told her about Ellie, the homicide, trying to start over. She went quiet, thought the line dropped. Then I heard her crying. Jack, she said softly, I'm so sorry. She always used Jack, not Jay. It hit harder this time. But you've got your kids, she added. You're still lucky, even if it doesn't feel that way yet. I didn't know what to say, so I joked, let's skip the sad stuff. She laughed, told me funny stories about her students. It helped. Then I said what I called for. Hey, I know it's last minute, but I'm bringing the kids and the folks to England, just a little trip. If you're free, I'd love to see you. I'd love that, she said. But I can't. School's crazy, full schedule. I get it, I said, trying not to sound bummed. But I still owe you dinner, maybe just one evening. Deal, she said. Bring the kids and the grandparents. I want to meet everyone. Perfect. I'll call when we land. Even flying in, I knew the past would catch up. We landed early. I told the family, stay awake, jet lag trick. The kids were bouncing, the grandparents. Not thrilled, but I pushed. We checked in, and I called Sarah, set dinner for tomorrow night. Then we hit London, Tower, Thames boat ride, Legoland, Windsor. The kids loved it. That night, I went to bed happy, for once. I was excited to see Sarah again. The next morning, a loud knock. We had a 2-room suite, the kids were out cold. I pulled on pants, opened the door, still groggy. A stocky guy, maybe mid-50s, stood there with a newspaper. Sorry to bother you, Mr. Miller, he said. I'm James Batterman, hotel manager. We need to talk, urgent. Still half asleep, I waved him in. Behind him, a server pushed a cart with coffee, tea, juice, and a full breakfast. Batterman nodded, told him to set up in the corner. Once we were alone, he poured me coffee. I took it like it was medicine. You might want to sit, he said, calm but serious. You need to see this. I dropped into a chair. He slid the paper across to me, front page, big headline. Prince Peter's abduction mystery solved. Right below it, my face, full color. I flipped through the article, groaned, mind racing, but mostly I thought about my kids and how this might mess things up for them. When I finished, I looked at him. So, how bad is it? Pretty bad, he said. Crowds outside, press, fans, looky-loose. We've had vans out front since dawn. Once the story dropped, people found you fast. Cops are on their way. He paused. Mr. Miller, you're famous now. UK's eating this up. I just stared, stunned, not even mad, just numb. Then it hit me. You're not kicking us out, are you? He looked offended. Absolutely not. I'm here to keep you informed and to say, we'll protect your privacy. He said privacy, and it took me a sec. So what now? I asked. For now, lay low tonight, let things cool. I'll talk to corporate, we'll find options. Well, the problem is, we had dinner plans, a friend. We were going to Padilla. He thought for a sec, then smiled. Invite them here. The Grove downstairs, quiet, classy, only 46 seats, no media. I exhaled. That sounds perfect. Let me take care of it, he said. I nodded. I hadn't even looked out the window yet, but I felt the storm already. Then I asked, why now? This happened 6 years ago. The prince made it out. Why does anyone care anymore? He looked at me, kind of smiled. Mr. Miller, you're American. Royals to you, just gossip. But here, they're everything. When the crown prince vanished, it shook the whole country. When he came back, it was like the nation could breathe again. He tapped the paper. And now, people find out the guy who saved him didn't even want credit. That kind of quiet hero stuff, it means something here. He paused again. My staff's proud to have you. And just so you know, you're not paying for your stay. I sat up. Mr. Batterman, no, I can't let you do that. We're already a hassle, I added. He raised both hands. Corporate cleared it, they're thrilled. Bookings jumped 18% since the story hit. Trust me, we're fine. After he left, Luke and Emma came out, still sleepy. Batterman had sent breakfast, eggs, bacon, bagels, oatmeal, the works. I made them plates, put on Toy Story, and sat them in front of the TV. Then, I grabbed my phone. First call, both sets of grandparents. Come to my room, family talk, now. Second, Sarah. She picked up fast. Jack, what I'm seeing on TV, is it real? Yeah, I said. All of it. I should have told you earlier. I was just trying to move on. That why you ditched dinner back then? Yeah, government asked me to go quiet, no press. And the part about you nearly dying? True, I said. It happened, but I'm all right now. She paused. Her voice cracked. Then you came home, and your wife got eliminated. She started crying. Don't cry, I said. I just wanted to ask if you'd come to dinner here. With the media mess, I get it if you'd rather skip. I'll be there, she said quickly. You're not ditching me again. 6 o'clock. When the grandparents showed, I spread out the papers and turned on the TV. News was everywhere, a crowd outside, cops setting up barriers, unreal. My mom read a headline, started crying. What is it, Mom? You almost died, she said, tearing up, and you never told us. I didn't want to scare you, I said. Didn't know what it was at first, and later, I just didn't want to dig it up again. She didn't love that answer, but she dropped it. Later, Sarah came up to my room before dinner. She looked great. My folks were curious, but she won them over with stories about her school and work. Dinner started awkward. Soon as we walked in, people stood and clapped. Some came up to thank me. I smiled, introduced everyone, and kept cool. At one point, Luke leaned in. Dad, are you famous? I guess, I said, but I don't want to be. Halfway through, Sarah leaned close. Told the school board everything, got 2 weeks off. I'm coming with you. Only thing left was figuring out if we could even leave. Then Batterman walked up. Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Miller. Can we talk? We stepped near the kitchen. He kept his voice low. Corporate has an idea. Small press conference tomorrow might help cool things down. I nodded. All right, what do I do? Nothing, he said. We'll set it up. Just show up at 10. Say a few words. That's it? That's it. I told the family. Grandparents were proud. Kids didn't care. They just wanted cake. Me? I was freaking out. Next morning, 9:55, Batterman led me into the ballroom. Place was packed, flags everywhere, orchestras, cameras lined the back. Walking down that aisle, my legs were jelly. People clapped, stood, got loud. Family came in behind me, sat near the back. The kids were whispering like it was a magic show. Moms were crying. On stage, the orchestra played the Star-Spangled Banner, then God Save the King. Batterman did the welcome. I had a speech in my pocket. Didn't use it. Spoke from the gut. Thanked folks, said I wasn't a hero. Then, questions. How'd you know the prince was there? I didn't even know who he was till I hit the hospital. I was just lost. They laughed. They asked about the fight. I gave the short version. If the SAS hadn't shown up, we'd be dead, me and the prince. 30 minutes later, it wrapped up. Press shouted questions. I smiled, nodded, and got the hell off stage. Back in the room, the kids were buzzing. So many people, Dad, they said. Grandparents beamed. None of this was supposed to happen. Then a knock. I opened the door. Sarah stood there, smiling. I hugged her. Thanks for coming, I said. She laughed. Please, wild horses couldn't keep me away. You were amazing, Jack. The press cheered. You gave credit to the prince. That stuff matters. The next day, we got an invite to Buckingham Palace, even Sarah. That's when I found out, yeah, she's not just a teacher. She and the Queen went to school together. Her full name, Lady Sarah Smythe. Her dad's a duke. She started explaining her family tree. I tapped out, too much. The next morning, our real tour began. The government gave us a car and 2 bodyguards. I thought it was too much, but Sarah didn't mind, so I dropped it. First stop, Manchester. I'm a lifelong Manchester United fan. I hope to just see the stadium. They went all out. Turns out, they knew I was coming. We got a private tour of the pitch, met some players, took pics, everyone was kind. Then we hit Liverpool, much calmer. The royal family had asked the press to give us space, and since the route wasn't public, we blended in fine. From there, we followed Sarah's lead. She picked great spots. Her teacher brain kicked in everywhere we went. She made the places feel alive. We stayed a few days in Glasgow, then headed to Edinburgh, using it as a base for short day trips. As the media noise faded, I felt lighter. Finally, I still don't get why anyone wants to be famous. During that tour, I realized something. I was falling hard for Sarah. My parents loved her. Even Ellie's parents did. The kids, totally smitten. What started as friendship had turned into something else. One night, walking near the castle, I stopped and kissed her. She looked surprised, then hugged me and kissed me back. We went to her room. I didn't know what she wanted, but she did. She started undressing me, and I followed her lead. We slid into bed, skin on skin. Then she whispered, "Please don't hurt me." "I'll be gentle," I said. "No, I mean, don't break my heart." Her voice shook. "I know you like me, but I'm in love with you. If this isn't real, tell me now. I'll be sad, but I can't be lied to." "Sarah," I said, soft. "After Lily died, I thought I'd never love again. But you showed me I can. I don't know what the future looks like, but I love you." That's all she needed. Her passion lit up. At first, it was fast, needy. Then it slowed, soft, deep. At 2 a.m., I crept back to my room. Total waste of effort. The next morning at breakfast, the grandparents wore those smiles. Yeah, they knew. The trip flew by after that. We went back to London. I asked my mom to watch the kids so I could spend one last night with Sarah. Saying goodbye the next day was rough. Hugs, kisses, even a few tears. I think Sarah was scared I'd forget her once I left, but I didn't. In the months after, I called her every day, sometimes twice. The kids loved her calls, too. She always had fun stories. I couldn't take the distance anymore. I flew back to London, and I asked her to marry me. She said yes. We visited her dad, the Duke of Stirling. Her mom had passed years ago. Her dad, Percy, lived on the estate. Big house, huge land. Sarah told me they made money from farming and house tours. They were doing fine. When I asked for his blessing, he smiled. "So, you want to marry my little Sarah?" "Yes, sir, very much." "You know her brother Edward gets the title and land, right?" "Sarah's title ends with her." "I don't care about the title. I love her, that's all that matters, but I hope you'll give us your blessing." He grinned. "That's a fine answer. You have my blessing and my love." The wedding was small, but still bigger than I wanted. About 100 people showed up, even the king and queen. Peter came too, with some beautiful girl on his arm. He was grown now, almost ready to settle down and start a family of his own. My dad stood beside me as best man. Luke and Emma were in the wedding party. Sarah and I spent our honeymoon in Bermuda. After that, we went back to the UK and made a plan. School year in England, summers in the States. We got the kids into Ludgrove, one of those posh schools where royals send their children. Sarah made it official, she adopted them. Sometimes, the Queen would ask us to do light royal duties, visit a hospital, cut a ribbon, tour a factory. I didn't love it, but Sarah made it fun. And after, she always made sure the night ended well. Wherever we were, UK or US, Peter kept in touch. On his first visit to America, he asked to stay with us, but security didn't allow it. He's grown into this confident, sharp young man. I couldn't be prouder if you were mine. 2 years in, Sarah gave birth to a baby boy. She named him James. A year later, we had a daughter, Charlotte. Then came Thomas, named after my dad. After everything, after all the chaos and pain, life felt like something out of a dream. Peaceful, full of love. I felt lucky, so lucky. Our 5th anniversary was coming up, so I planned a night out, dinner and a show. I bought her a gold necklace with 3 heart charms, each engraved with one of our kids' names and birth dates. I really hoped she'd love it. I was still working on David's journal, wanting to leave something for him, something real. That night, we were out at a fancy dinner spot, low lights, the kind of place where you whisper even when there's no one listening. I slid a little box across the table, no big speech, no build-up. "Here," I said, "just open it." It was the necklace, gold, 3 heart-shaped charms, the kids' names and birth dates carved into each one. My throat closed up, and I couldn't even speak. I wear it every damn day now. In that moment, I didn't give a damn about the play we were supposed to see, didn't care about anything except him, us. I just wanted to go home, crawl into bed, and hold on to him. We stepped outside, then I heard it, someone yelling my name. I turned around, and there he was, my ex, drunk, fuming, eyes wild. And he had a tool. "If I can't have you, no one can," he screamed. Everything froze, then bang. David shoved me hard. I hit the ground, heard the crack before I saw the blood. The bullet hit him dead in the chest. I remember screaming, couldn't stop. My voice gave out, and I still kept trying. 3 days at the hospital, I didn't leave his side, didn't eat, didn't sleep, just sat there, begging whatever the hell's out there not to take him from me. On the 3rd night, he opened his eyes, weak as hell, smiled, just barely. "I love you," he whispered, then gone. It's been 2 months since I wrote in David's journal. I tried, but I couldn't do it. The ink ran with tears, pages curled. So now I'm typing. I'm still drowning. The kids are too. I keep going, for them, for him. My ex-husband got life, 1st-degree homicide. David's passing shattered people. Both in the UK and the US, flags dropped to half-staff. He got a military funeral, full honors. The king and queen came, Peter too. He tried to stay strong, but when the casket was lowered, he broke. The queen wrapped her arms around him, held him tight while he cried. Now it's just me, trying to hold things together. Every day feels like climbing a mountain barefoot, but David left me something else. That night, before it all went down, I told him I was pregnant again. We had a daughter. I named her Mary, after my mom. She has his eyes, his smile. She's crying now, hungry. I need to go feed her. All I can do is keep showing up, keep loving them, keep going. That's what David would have wanted. God, give me strength. I still love him, still miss him, every single day. Today, I'm still standing, though the weight of everything that's happened never fully lifts. Each day reminds me how fragile life is, how fast it can change, and how precious love truly is. What Matthew left me, more than anything, is the strength to keep moving forward, even when it feels impossible. I've shared my story with you, my pain, my journey, my grief. If you've experienced loss, you understand this weight. If you haven't, your compassion still means the world. Your kindness helps me keep going, one day at a time. Love, no matter how painful its loss, binds us all. If you have someone you love, tell them today. Hold them close. Don't wait. Some days feel like climbing a mountain barefoot, but I remind myself, love doesn't end when someone's gone, it becomes the reason we keep showing up, for my kids, for Matthew, and for the love we built. Thank you for being here, for reading, and for reminding me, and all of us, that even in our hardest moments, we are not alone.